if the former President Bill Clinton is weighing in on this, I imagine that says something very much that this is political. This is a political hot potato.
That's
this
right.
means something here, that he is weighing in, and he's weighing in on this side saying, look, you know what? I think they need to do this. Why is this so important?
That's right. Yeah, this White House can no longer, Suzanne, say, well, it's just the Republicans who want to scuttle Obamacare, who want to repeal and not replace it with anything else. It's now Democrats inside the party, close to the president, very important high-profile Democrats who are saying, hey, wait a minute, this is not working the way it's rolling out right now, and something has to be done to fix it. And perhaps there is no bigger Democrat who is saying that at this point than Bill Clinton, who gave an interview to a little-known website called Ozy.com or Ozy.com. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's OZY.com. And it is run by Carlos Watson, who's a former Democratic strategist. And during that interview, Bill Clinton says that the president who made that pledge, if you like your plan, you should keep it, ought to keep that pledge, and that perhaps the law should be changed to allow Americans who are now losing their insurance coverage as a result of the fact that their plans are not complying with Obamacare, that those Americans should be able to keep their plans. Here's what the former president, I should say, had to say.
So I personally believe, even if it takes a change in the law, the president should honor the commitment the federal government made to those people and let them keep what they got.
And now the president, former President Clinton, did not just basically, go after the president during this interview. I don't think you can characterize those comments as such. And actually, earlier in the interview, Suzanne and Michael, the former president does say that there are reasons why the implementation of Obamacare is not going well. He talks about the website, the problems with the website, compares that to Medicare Part D's rollout, the prescription drug plan that was rolled out for seniors under former President George W. Bush. That also had some implementation issues, and also the expansion of Medicaid not going to all 50 states. There are some Republican governors who are blocking it in their states. The former president, Bill Clinton, saying in that interview, that's another reason why you're having some issues with Obamacare. But very interesting to note, and just in the last hour, Dick Durbin, top Democrat in the Senate under Harry Reid, very close to President Obama, actually encouraged Barack Obama, as you know, Suzanne, to run for president, just told Ashley Banfield in the last hour, with respect to that pledge, if you like your plan, you should keep it. Dick Durbin told Ashley Banfield, well, perhaps a couple of sentences should have been tacked on to the end of that pledge. To have that come from Dick Durbin, I think is also very significant, guys.